The following video contains spoilers. We suggest watching the episodes alone in the dark. Wolfpack. Somehow, Slappy has returned.
You must have brought me out for something fun.
Hey folks, Catastrophe here, eager to drop the final curtain on this puppet saga, with a review on the one title I know you've all been looking forward to the most. Bride of the Living Dummy.
Another one bites the dust, hey?
Yep, the demonic dummy returns for one Stine adventure. Tragically, our last episode starring the OG Slappy. End of an era. However, it's luckily a fan favorite, which many enjoy, thanks to the Goosebumps TV show doing a full-blown parody of Slappy's rival bad boy doll, Chucky, in this. As both the killer doll and living dummy did a dark romance where the villains found their perfect babe. R.L. Stine wanted to cash in on that fun by having Slappy fall for a girl to call his own, around the exact same year as horror fans were glazing Chucky's own rom-com, happening simultaneously.
Who the fuck is
Slappy.
Fans have often joked about Slappy and Chucky being fairly similar scary icons, but this episode took it all in stride by directly doing what Charles Lee Ray was also parodying, a morbid horror comedy where the monster finds love within a girl monster, killing happily ever after. However, this kid-friendly version absolutely made their dance romance their own style. On our last Living Dummy epic, Slappy died. So of course, that meant he's getting a sequel. By this point, the evil puppet had evolved into the mascot of the Goosebumps franchise as a whole, leading to R.L. Stine just plumb stop writing out elaborate explanations for how Slappy keeps coming back to life, as he knew the kids just wanted to read about his crazy, ghoulish shenanigans. So we got more and more Slappy tales where the Living Dummy's revival kept getting glossed over in order to reach the insane fun already. This episode being one of those rushed returns. Regardless, the rushed writing, which started infecting later seasons, didn't prevent anyone from falling in love themselves with this storyline. Slappy finds love, and this time he's going on his usual rampage out of wooing his perfect match made in horror. A silly idea, yes, but one which we knew would drench itself in that Goosebumps galore. I've seen nothing but endless adoration and positivity around this episode, since the concept, terror, thrills, chills, dark twists, and naturally Slappy spotlight are all pretty grand. Though the one glaring negative it does suffer is that it's also another adaptation not fully faithful to the book. Yeah, sorry book fans, but the show adds massive changes and cuts to the plot. This is one of two episodes actually based on a title from the Goosebumps 2000 book series, the other being Cry of the Cat, since the show is running out of main novels to reimagine. Yet unlike Rip's movie event, Bride was significantly re-altered, trimmed down, and scaled back in effort to make a more simple half-hour short.
Hello? I like money.
This resulted in the episode being largely different from Stine's vision. A lot of the basic elements and characters from the book are still here, but the events and twists are greatly redone, meaning that we're in for a different spin on RL's rom-com. Though, considering how many still love it, that offers up some hope that the adaptation isn't all that bad, especially since we score more Slappy screen time.
You're giving me... Oh, what's the word? Goosebumps.
It's up for debate over which is better, the book or the episode. Though since they kept in the huge dark turns, I can still safely say it's got some solid scares, but
That comes later.
for now, we're here to see how well this witch holds up today. We all love Slappy as the ultimate Goosebumps monster, but was his grand finale truly a showcase of epic proportions? Or should he have stayed dead back on 3? Most importantly, can Goosebumps genuinely pull off a spooky love story? Lock up your toys and grab those buzzsaws, cause we're cutting open this piece to see. This is our review on the unholy matrimony, Bride of the Living Dummy.
Follow Slappy every hour, here inscribed is from the mind of R.L. Stine. So follow Slappy, gotta find them all before they find a way to put us back aside.
So, our episode opens up on a dark and stormy night at the dump, where we spot Jimmy O. James, a fail-starving artist shopping for props, just like Carrot Top.
We're pretty cleaned out right now, because Carrot Top comes by every morning to rummage for new props.
Soon enough, he finds a familiar face.
It's me again, Slappy!
Somehow, Slappy has returned. And it's never, and I mean never, explained. Despite literally getting blown to smithereens last chapter, Slappy's now just back to his normal self. No broken face, charred burns, and he's even back to his mini scale from Living Dummy 2, rather than the child-sized big dummy he was previously. Apparently, somebody fixed him and just chucked him out in the open for any fool to find.
Who is giving out free dummies in his neighborhood?
Stine has pretty much stopped explaining how Slappy keeps coming back by this point, finding it creepier by having zero explanation behind how he keeps resurrecting to life. Until we got more lore from Slappy World to dive into him, Slappy just had the same power to never die, like Kenny, Eustace Bag, Waspinator, or Master Shake.
Let's see the Marines try to take me like this. So low. Unbelievable! They took me like this.
It's kinda lazy, but pretty much just one of those enjoy the ride type of thrillers, so you go with it until Stine crafts more books.
I like money.
And of course, our loser reads the spell card out loud, reviving the toy, with Cal Dodd back in full force.
The name's Slappy, and I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Once more, Wolverine does a fantastic job dubbing the living doll, as he gets a whole lot more to do. Slappy's far more proactive in this tale, is always framed in scary angles, and now has the added bonus of working harder to achieve his end goals. Which I like, since more Slappy action is something we can all enjoy and feel afraid of. It's clear that Slap's still up to his old tricks of forming that slave empire, starting with Jimbo, where he pulls the most evil plan ever by giving him a successful comedy career, entertaining the masses.
Well, how about this wonderful audience? What do you think of them?
Phew, this is an audience? Yeesh. For a minute there, I thought we were working at the zoo.
How horrible. But while yucking it up, Slappy falls in love.
I give him 6 months. 3 if she gains weight.
That's right, Slappy finds his crush, and the whole story involves our favorite killer doll getting laid. A vastly different direction for our villain, but Goosebumps trying out horror romance is full of so much grim fun, as unlike both the Haunting Hour or Twilight Zone scary love stories, this is greatly played for effed up horror. Through the show, we officially meet our real main cast. Jillian and and Katie Zinman, two quirky sisters with quirky pals. One of them being Katie's ultra creepy dolly, Mary Ellen. While the character roster this round is fine, the standout's easily Mary Ellen. This doll girl's unsettling to the max. Unlike Slappy, Mary's not a ventriloquist dummy, but a plastic Cabbage Patch doll, given a ghostly white dress, pint-sized body like Slaps, and the eeriest face to ever haunt your nightmares. It's one of those toys which was meant to look cute with those big old Powerpuff Girl eyes, but they simply pierce your soul.
The eyes! The fucking eyes!
I can see what Slappy sees in her, since she's just as hideous as he is. And just in case her design didn't creep you out, her persona's also sick, as Mary Ellen's an abuser. She too is an egotistical control freak who treats her playmate more like a slave, and nobody seems to question how warped her friendship is with a little girl.
Mary Ellen's gone! She was right here beside me, and now she's gone!
Alright, don't panic. Maybe you just left her back at your seat.
No, you don't understand. Mary Ellen said if I ever let anything happen to her, she'd do something bad to me.
My sister's abuse is so boring.
Fucking bitch.
They split up to find the stupid doll, where of course Jillian stumbles upon the stars, who are clearly off their rocker.
Sick and tired of being treated like a slave all the time.
But you are my slave, Jimmy. You are, and you aren't ever gonna be anything but.
Like in part 3, we get to see how dangerous Slappy is with a slave, as he owns Jimmy, and demands a special order. But before we know it, Jill tumbles in, where the duo fake being normal.
I figured the show needed some spark, so I've been working on this routine where Slappy and I fight and argue. And I put a radio-controlled motor inside him. Would I lie?
Somehow ignoring all the red magic flags, Jill asks for Sis's doll, leading to them exchanging addresses, so he can call her in case his crew find it.
Why don't you write your address in here, and if the cleaners find it, we can send it along later. How's that sound?
It's a trap!
The gang regroup, but are unaware of the nightmares unfolding. We soon get acquainted with the Zinman clan. Jillian's the sassy, hot-blooded kid hero, Katie's the shy, antisocial doll girl, Mom's stern parent, and Dad has a job as a birdhouse maker. A common career, I'm sure. And we get adjusted to their creepy house, with Dad working on his obvious foreshadowing. Also, the girls frequently chill with Harrison, their doofy fat friend. The acting's pretty decent here, as all the core characters perform very well, and capture the typical horror movie fear of Goosebumps. Luckily, our two leads are also former Goosebumps kids. Jillian's played by Stephanie, the prankster girl from The Headless Ghost, which is a good upgrade for her, as both her characters are snarky brats.
Mary Ellen is mad at you.
Really? I'm shaking.
She wants Slappy to stay upstairs in our bedroom with us.
Well, it was my bedroom before it was our bedroom. And I think Slappy's creepy, so Slappy lives here.
You know, Dwayne, you're getting to be a real drag.
I'm a drag. You know, you never know when to stop, do you, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
So glad she got to use her talents on a better episode. Jillian's not quite the best Dummy Saga protagonist, but she's far more fearless than the last few, since she takes initiative right from the get-go, and is smarter than most. Also, Katie was on A Night in Terror Tower, as a background character.
Woo!
The only major change to the Zinmans is that Katie's twin Amanda was deleted entirely. Her personality as the shy, nice girl was combined with Katie, who used to be the bratty sibling, presumably so they could make the cast tighter and have all the moolah for the dummy effects.
Money!
To their credit, all the characters are perfectly fine and deliver. Cal Dodd's always the MVP in these, since he gets way more lines than on his debut appearance. But like I said, the one we all remember is Mary Ellen, who's a creepy figure, constantly looming in the back. She almost never leaves Katie's side, gets an abundance of scary face shots, and never stops whispering into baby Sis's ear, corrupting her, almost as if there's something more there. The fam's in for a bleak whirlwind once they receive a package.
Slappy I am!
And the Slappy horror commences, where we get all those Slap staples. He fakes being a regular toy, Slap attacks and harasses the kids, and manipulates behind the scenes. This time making his move out of love.
Mary Ellen says Slappy wants to stay upstairs too.
Well, you know what, Katie? Mary Ellen talks too much.
I'm trying to get laid!
While most of this is nothing new in the Dummy saga, it remains pretty chilling here, thanks to Slappy having a fresh motive behind his madness and schemes. The show trims out lots of padding and pointless scenes from the book too. The girls never try being birthday party performers, the filler's gone entirely, many side characters are omitted, and the middle section of the book is altered. But I'm okay with these changes, precisely because the show wants to focus on the horror. The Dummy plot's the central focus, which is smart. The show does recycle many Slappy cliches, but there's a new approach to spice things up. I really enjoy it a lot because the living Dummy has a different reason for repeating his trademarks. Slappy wants a bride, a lady to call his own, and as you'd expect, goes on his pursuit in the freakiest ways, adding a whole new layer of terror to his wooden finish. He does rehash some of the same tricks, but considering it's for him to gain the heart of his crush, it makes him feel like a yandere, killing his way into her good graces. It is pretty scary having a psycho trying to force affection on someone, over plain murder. Once more, Slappy lurks in the shadows, nobody believes he's real, Katie's misblamed for his crimes, and some strange things occur, such as Slappy swiping Mom's jewelry.
Oh!
I honestly really dig Slappy here because he's done playing games. Now he's all in.
I want my bride!
What kid isn't scared by that? Things only take a spookier turn when the parents go out to their, midnight aerobics. Leaving the kids home alone all night.
Uh-oh!
Jill seizes her chance to return the toy back at Jimmy's wicked Slappy lair. In the book, Jimmy O. James lived in a trashy trailer park since Slappy took all their money, but the show remade his pad into this super cool villain base for more dazzle. That door is pretty rad, yet she only finds a drunken James and all his dead puppet pals.
These are Slappy's rivals. He destroyed them. He destroyed them all.
Hey kids, were any of you wondering what became of Cousin Zane and Rocky the Good Dummy? Well, they're dead! Yep, among the puppet corpses of Slappy's victims are both Puppet Zane and Rocky's severed heads, meaning that Slappy killed them off screen. I'm certain y'all are ecstatic how that dark twist of Puppet Zane led to absolutely nothing. A choice as brilliant as the intro to Alien 3. It's here where Jimmy reveals the truth and Slappy's origin. He mailed the doll over to them because he was ordered to. Slappy's not even a dummy. He's a ghost.
You can't destroy the evil spirit within that dummy.
Before we eventually got his backstory in Slappy World, this is the closest we got to an explanation for what Slappy truly is. The villain's an evil spirit who never dies, and has merely been possessing the doll bod to hide among society and exploit new slaves as a seemingly silly toy. Unfortunately, we don't get too deep detail, but this explains how Slappy's magic and keeps reviving because he's a ghost sealed inside the doll, slowly but surely rebuilding his greatness in our modern era. But if you want to know more, just order your copy of Slappy World online.
I like money.
Jill tries returning the toy, only realizing she was speckle dwarfed.
That's not even a word, and I agree with you.
If Kevin's here, then that means Slappy is...
He's in the doghouse.
It'll happen to you.
We cut back to the Three Stooges watching a Goosebumps marathon, but when Jillian calls to warn them, she's too late.
Do you hear me, Katie? Slappy is evil.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but things will never hurt me, and I want my bride.
Slappy makes his move, traps the kids, sidelines the only other dude cramping his style, and crashes the party. Spooky hijinks ensue, forcing Jill to arrive to save the day, only suffering a slap attack.
Wedding day, and I want my bride.
A pretty standard Scooby-Doo chase, but made eerie thanks to Cal Dodd hamming it up.
Oh, you can run, but you cannot hide.
I can't! Mary Ellen won't let me!
They try escaping, but keep getting stalled by stupid doll Mary's thirst for Slappy, pissing Jill off. Only for her to win our spookiest twist.
I've had just about enough of this dumb doll.
Who are you calling dumb?
I told you!
She's alive too?
Yes, in one of the gnarliest twists, we learn Katie was right. Mary Ellen's alive and desires Slappy as her hubby. She's secretly been aiding him all along behind the scenes to get closer together. This entire time, Katie really was being abused as a slave for her own doll. Mary Ellen was holding her hostage, sneaking off, letting Slappy loose in their home, and sabotaging their escape because she wants her way.
She makes me do anything she wants. If I don't, she says she'll hurt Mom and Dad. I knew.
And what Mary Ellen wants, Mary Ellen gets.
Mary's voice actress, Julissa Aguirre, who's done voice work on some video games, such as Knights and Hitman 3. She's so good as the knockoff Tiffany that I really wish we had more screen time from her, since she's got an eerie voice.
Aren't you the smarty pants? Tell her, Katie. Tell your big sister the truth.
By the way, there's no explanation for how Mary Ellen's alive. Similar to Dennis, it just happens because twist. Katie just owns a living psycho doll, so we can have two evil dummies.
Who is giving out free dummies in his neighborhood?
They fail to flee when Slappy jump scare enters to at last seduce his bride. But it's not who you think.
Now I'm ready to be your bride. What? You? I don't want you, you cheap plastic. I want her. You'll be mine, Kitty. You'll be my slave forever.
What the fuck?
Yes, you all heard it, Mary Ellen's not the one. This whole time, Slappy has been pursuing Katie to be his wife. Katie, the baby sister, is the bride of the living dummy. This entire episode, Slappy has been stalking, harassing, and seeks to marry and plow a first grader. Slappy wants to marry an underage girl.
Hello, I like children.
That's right, it's canon. Slappy's a pedo bear. This is what ultimately made this entry the most horrifying of all. Our villain wants to bang and put a ring on a first grader, with Mary Ellen being a red herring all along. Slappy was actually eyeing Katie at first sight, and craves her love. This makes rewatching the episode ever more skin-crawling, because he was always watching her, following her, removing people out of their way, and even using Mary Ellen, all just to get into Katie's skirt. Heck, he even abuses her family. Let's call it a love tap.
And now I'm going to vomit.
Believe it or not, this twist was also a key plot turn in the novel, but was a tad altered. In the book, Slappy actually sought Jillian, our main protag, as his woman, and she was the one he was trying to impress. However, for some reason, the show staff changed this to the younger kid's sister just to make him scarier.
I like children!
Truthfully, this is why I and endless fans love this episode, because the dark twist of Slappy being a pedo bear is so disturbing, it's awesome. This silly kid show actually had the balls to make our horror monster a proud pedo bear, and unlike an old story, it actually works here. Why? Because it isn't a joke or goofy moment. It is treated as dead serious horror. Slappy being a creep is played up as the gruesome twist it truly is, and elevated him from Joker to Violator Vile.
You run! Oh, piece of wood! Come on, there's plenty of me to go around.
And now I'm going to vomit.
Now that's fun-sized. Ew! Once a woman scorned, Mary and Slappy fight in slow-mo, where the girls help them die.
Double kill.
But then they're bad CG ghosts who float off to hell.
I'll be back. I always come back. But dying is such a bitch.
And that's it. The toys are busted, Slappy and Mary die alone, they get Ma's ring, the sisters are cool, and all's well once the parents get home. Until we get our twist ending. They forgot to get Harrison.
What's Harrison doing in our bathroom?
You know he goes in the shed. They free Harry, who's a new man.
Sorry, folks.
Harrison doesn't live here anymore.
Yep, Slappy survives for once by possessing the fat kid, where he kills them all. The end. This is easily the scariest ending of the dummy arc, because unlike the last two, it doesn't end on a dark comedy finale, but a horrific twist where Slappy wins. He wins. The villain not only survived his death, but came back as this deranged human puppet hybrid beast, and gets revenge on the Zinmans. And this ending stuck out to fans thanks to those creepy as hell doll eyes on Harry's face. They're so haunting.
When I kill your brother, I talk! Yes!
Nightmare fuel. Also, Slappy's line he speaks through Harrison's body was originally, "A new body for my new bride." It was changed after they realized the implications that would bring.
I like children!
Believe it or not, though, this twist was even worse in the book. On the page, Slappy didn't possess Harrison, he possessed Jillian. Our main character and the object of Slappy's eye suffered this fate instead. This was vastly grimmer since not only does Slappy win, but he took over the body of his bride-to-be and forces her to be his slave, kill her fam, and be all his.
I can look at myself naked.
That makes it worse.
Either way, both endings are freaky, yet the book's just an extra dose of squick creepy. Anywho, that's our tale of tragic romance, Bride of the Living Dummy. And it was a moving ceremony. I always considered this my favorite Slappy story, and my opinion hasn't changed much. This is still an ultra creepy episode, and has only gotten way scarier with time. Cal Dodd Slappy is just as menacing here as he was in the last chapter, if not more fright-sgusting. The puppet effects are still solid, Mary Ellen's an underrated monster, the sisters are likable enough, the writing spices up the typical formula, decent acting, the twists are twisted, and the scares are just as spooky as ever. I do think it's way better than part 2 and 3, mostly due to the stronger focus and tighter pacing. Yeah, it does heavily alter the book, and could have been more faithful, but what we got is definitely not garbage. What risked being a stupid comedy somehow managed to succeed as a disturbing dark romance with one hell of a sick turn final act. The twist alone is nearly scarier than anything on the Chucky movies. Slappy's easily at his worst in this fable, because the plot of him coming after a little girl to marry him is beyond ghoulish. Mary Ellen's also a wicked monster in her own right. She's got a creepy design herself, and just as sick a persona. But her sole prob is a lack of screen time as a villain. Overall, this is just another fun killer doll tale, which carried on the amusement the third story set up, which makes it entertaining enough to be a wicked yet sick horror flick. I honestly recommend it, since it's another stellar entry in the Slappy saga, because it's so gnarly what they got away with on this show. Top-notch writing, gross scares, and demented twists, what's not to love? This show had the guts to make Slappy a creepazoid.
I have a date with a 6-year-old boy.
So, I grant this puppet show a gold skull, and a perfect score. This final act easily propelled it to instant classic for me. Bride of the Living Dummy may not be as popular as 2 or 3, yet I'd say it's a perfect match made in hell. I'm your host, Catastrophe, and don't forget to background check those toys. Slappy's cool, but not as romantic as I, right, Alice?
A scary clown, he's gonna hunt you down. The shopping mall, you'll hear a werewolf growl. A giant bug is smashing up the town. The zombies grab you, so don't fall down. Slappy, every monster locked inside. Follow me, we'll terrorize. Follow Slappy when I turn the key. You'll all wake up, you're gonna come alive. Follow Slappy, every horror here inscribed is from the mind of R.L. Stine. So follow Slappy, gotta find them all before they find a way to put us back aside. So follow Slappy, every monster locked inside. Follow me, we'll terrorize. Follow Slappy when I turn the key. You'll all wake up, you're gonna come alive. Follow Slappy, every horror here inscribed is from the mind of R.L. Stine. So follow Slappy, gotta find them all before they find a way to put us back aside. So follow Slappy.
Come on, there's plenty of me to go around.